comprehend. So I want you to do something with me. There's something I love to do whenever I'm talking to people. I try to make sure they visualize whatever we are discussing about. It's easier for you to comprehend when there's a visual part of what you're doing. So think on certain things. Um, so I also want to apologize. My slides are not here because my laptop is currently not with me where I am. So I had to um, get those things down and then faster and just. But like I'm not able to share my screen for my slides. But I believe after now sending the slides when I get my laptop. Okay, so I'll just quickly delve into what we have for today. So I'll be introducing first the concept of social media management. It's the process of creating first, publishing second, analyzing and engaging with contents on social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and the sorts. So I want you to understand something. We're going to take it again. Social media management is the process of first thing is creating. It's creating, and the second is publishing. The third is analyzing, and then the fourth is engaging with social media contents. So on social media platforms like Facebook and the sort. So what I'm trying to say is that first of all, the first thing you should understand about social media management is about creating. Usually we have lots of people that are social media glued that they do not feed on or do not gain from social media by creating, they only just feed off. We're in a society whereby I think one of the times I had a class and online, I was talking to my peer. I think that's still on Facebook. I had a Facebook live and I talked about the creators economy. And we're in a time whereby if you are unable to create, if you're one that just feeds off, you'll be one of the irrelevant persons to the society. So social media is based off of an interaction because in this space of the Web 2, unlike Web 1 or whereby it's just the internet, in this Web 2 where it's social media, I'm not talking about Web 3 now, like social media, where Facebook, it has to do with you creating as well as um, your your friends or people in the same social media platform also creating. So you get to exchange ideas, exchange contents, and then that's what makes the platform lively. So people that feed off any social media platform or people that have a great use of social media platform and not just people that come around to consume content are people that create. So for you have when you come to a social media platform, one of the things you should ask yourself is how much am I giving even before collecting? So you should know how much you yourself can create. Even when you understand social platforms, you should be thinking of a creators from a creator's mentality. That is when you can salvage whatever goodies the platform can prefer to you. So one is creating, second is publishing. So whatever you've created, you publish, and then you analyze. That's where management comes into play. You analyze, you tweak things. That's where sometimes differentiate a normal social media manager from a growth manager. That's one thing. And then engaging with content because you do not just post, you get to engage with other people's content. And then with algorithms that you're engaging, I'm talking about it on diverse social media platforms. The more you engage on comments, content, it sees that you're not just a bot, you're a person, and then you're a personality that can actually propagate to the next set of people, and then growth becomes possible. So that is one thing you should understand. So once again, you should know about social media strategy is that it involves both social media marketing, right, or management. Pardon me. It involves both strategy and execution. So it's not something you just blow out there. It's a lot of strategy and then there's execution. So once you should also know again about the social media space, I want you to also understand that the social media space is like an ecosystem. It's a wide array of ideologies, a wide array. Just picture, for example, Market Square for those in Nigeria. Market Square. You can get into it or shopping mall. I'm saying market square so you can visualize it more, or everyday supermarket or whatever shop, right? Anyone you're so familiar with. You walk into this mall, and then there are lots of goodies, sorts of packages, groceries you can just pick out from. And when you get those things, you can also, but in this market square per se, you can also deposit what you want to be sold in that market. So you can pick off from other people's zones what you want to consume, and then you can also drop what you want people to consume in that market. That's what you should picture this market. But in this market, what differentiates, what makes this market unique is that people get to connect with each other, they get to share, and you get to discover amongst each other in this social space. And unlike it for unbelievers, for the church, it's also a means for evangelism. So just beyond the discovering, sharing content without a goal in mind, it serves as a tool for evangelism for you, and a tool for community building, for a tool for even discipleship. I know from I got to meet lots of people on social media platform. I know one of the times I got to connect with someone who ended up being my mentor in a particular period of my life on social media, on Facebook. I didn't meet that person for a whole year till we met physically. But by the virtue of being online, I was being trained by this person online. So it also serves as a means for discipleship. So that's one thing you understand. So let's also delve to understand why the church needs social media. Why the church? I'm trying to see how I can wrap up a whole lot of things in a shorter period of time, so I can create space for questions and answers, and then so I can get one or two things from you, and also give out a lot to you. So why churches need social media? So we are going to be taking this bit by bit, and then I'll just cover a few um, of the most important ones. Why churches need social media? One is to spread the gospel beyond the four walls. Beyond the four walls. So I'm just saying churches because, like I said, I'm looking at towards church brands. Okay, let me not just build towards church brands, and but it goes beyond church brands. Whether you're a content creator for Christian content or whatever content, or just a business owner that's trying to draw people onto a certain business, and then from there you want to bring them. But I know that the intent of this class in its end is to see that the gospel is also propagated whatever you find yourself doing. Even the Bible says, do it as unto the Lord. So whatever you find yourself doing, the fact is that it's also a means for the gospel to be spread through social media. Secondly, it's important for you to stay relevant to people, and then also to present where people spend time. Like I said earlier, people tend to spend time on social media, and it has come to a point where people find it difficult to go to church physically. People spend hours on social media. And if that's where people spend their time on, that means it's also important that you go where they are. Even when okay, let me give you an ideology in the Bible. So I try to teach, like I said earlier, from the scriptural references. But this thing is just it's out of a concept, not the main content of the Bible, how it's put. But let's just say the story of when Jesus was talking to the disciples when he met Peter, and then he told them to cast off their nets. And if you realize that when they cast when initially they were trying to fish, they were not getting any fish because of where they were positioning themselves. And then when Jesus sent them forth into again to go and cast, and he said, cast your net again. And then when they threw their net, in that particular position where he told them to cast it, if you realize that at that point there was a great harvest. So it's the same thing that happens to the body. In the fishing of men, in the fishing of people, there are certain places where these fishes are. So your audience, the people you want to reach out to, are in a certain part of of life. And then you realize that it's come to a point where people are now glued to their phones. So glued to the internet. people now come from now with the rise in AI. I know most people now have made ChatGPT their best friends, and then Group AI and then Gemini, Meta AI. So it's a lot of AI platforms. So people now even spend time with their phones rather than having physical or traditional communications. You see friends that are in the same room chatting themselves on their phones rather than talking, and families and the same thing. So even meetings now hold more line. So you realize that. So in the position of a church or the position of your brand, you realize that they are also on social media. So you should go where they are and then spend time with them. So it also helps to strengthen community, and then it also helps to show testimonies, events, impact. I know some of the contents from I'll permit me to call lots of churches. Or let me just let that. So contents of different churches, from apostles to prophets to people, get to them online, and then you know that this is what happened. Oh, this is the testimony. Oh, the great harvest from one of our apostles that went to UK recently. You saw the massive harvest of souls, and then that's where we get to see all this kind of things. That is because social media made it possible, because I believe most of us wouldn't have known anything like that happened. So that's what social media does, and it also helps you to attract new members online. So I'm speaking now, I say also to the church, because I believe I'm talking to a particular set of people. And please, whatever I'm saying here also applies to your personal brands, for those that are content creators, for people for Christ or for the gospel or whatever you're doing. Um, Also, it also helps and plays a vital role. So I'm going to repeat them: spread the gospel, stay relevant, and present where people spend time. It also helps in strengthening community, and then showcase testimonies, events, impact, and also attract new members online. So that is why we need you to be on social media. That's why we need your church to be there. That's why we need you. And then we'll go further to understanding certain things about social media management in itself. Now, I've exposed us a bit to the need as to why we need to be on social media, and the need to why social media management, or in okay, social media in its sense is vital and important for that this. But we also need to delve further to understanding social media and its facets, and how we can, by the virtue of knowledge, by the virtue of understanding, and then we'll be able to apply these principles on how we can reach a wider audience and attract more people in our various online platforms or church platforms. So, one thing we should also understand about social media management is that there are five cardinals. I like to call them five cardinals. One is planning, and in social media, planning. Oh, I hope I'm not too fast. I'm trying to say I can pick up a lot in the time I have. Planning, sorry, okay. I'm not too fast. Okay. Planning. Please, if I get too fast, I think someone can just drop a message in the message box for me. Planning, creating, sharing, engaging, and then you get to analyze or you measure. So I'll say it again: the planning aspects, the strategy, the creating, the sharing, the engaging, and then you get to analyze or you measure. It depends, or what word you want to use. So planning has to do with the initial parts, you strategize, this is how we want to do it, this is what we do. And there's a lot that is in this cardinal of planning. Is in this cardinal of planning. I we've had lots of classes as it concerns social media management. But you permit me to just delve a bit as it concerns this particular thing, because I believe one thing: the only way for us to last perennially on social media or to attract people is when we understand certain things that revolves around planning. Now, when we talk about planning, when I work with certain brands, there's something I always try to make sure when we work with those at social media groups. I try to make sure that their branding first of all is on point. It's on point. Branding here, I do not mean just logos. That's the least of it. issues or colors. Your colors actually brand tone, your personality. If I call certain people online, when I call them, you just know how they will respond. You get what I'm saying? So if something should happen, you know how each creature, how each church particularly responds to certain things. If I say talk about not wearing earrings, you know there's certain churches that don't. That if I say if I don't like, you know what I'm saying. So all those things go around the church ground, the personality of the ground. And one thing you should understand about personality is that a church brand I know to a great extent tend to look like who the GOs are. Like I don't I'm trying to please permit me to I'm trying to make something very like example now if oh, I'm trying not to use churches for example, so I don't call one church, I don't call the other or something. So imagine a particular church. There's every tendency that the church as a whole follows the personality of who leads the church. So if you see a particular church A, you realize that the founder or the GO of church A also by virtue of its brand, although brands like corporate brands as the church's brand and personal brands are different identities and stand differently, pardon me, but they are similar and alike, especially when it comes to churches. You realize that if you see church A, there's every tendency that the way church A appears on social media is the way the GO in itself, in GO or the founder or the pastor in charge appears online. So there's something about branding. If there's a difference in the personality of the audience, let's just say the pastor acts this way and then the church social media is not looking like the pastor, there's going to be a conflict of identity. That's what happens with church brands very well for you to understand. So for you to actually plan your social media as a church, you need to be able to work on your branding system well. Like from the tone, the way the church speaks, from no social media. What about brands, corporate brands like church brands? They speak. Corporate brands speak. Their identities. So there's how the brand will speak, the tonality, the way you expect the church to respond, the way you expect them their aesthetics. I don't I think the list of the issues, but the aesthetics and there's some color. You know why? So when I say red and white and red, a church comes to your mind. When I say white and red, a church with white and just very easy to think. That's how it goes with church brands. Hmm? If I okay now apostolic invasion is not so rampant. Before like later, if I heard apostolic invasion, there's three people that come to my head after I start thinking of which of them. So it's that kind of thing in with brand. So whatever brand your portfolio. Now you see churches usually, you see the GOs of the churches usually having the um, printings of the churches on their clothes. It happens a lot. Churches of their clothes because they carry and show for that brand. So branding of both whoever the GO is and then whoever the church is, they have to be similar and alike to avoid conflict of interest. I don't know if we can hear me. I want to see maybe responses on the call message. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I'll be delving further. So one thing you should understand about branding is that branding in itself, I'm delving a bit, so it can help us in our social media management because if I'm done with this, it's easier for you to get social media management very fast. So one thing you understand about branding is that for every brand you are working on, you should understand who your target audience are. Who your target audience are. So there's who your target audience are is very important. So there's something I call it's usually called WWRO, who was results. So, but in this sense, I'm going to just break it down in who you're talking to, what you're trying to communicate, and results, what in turn you end them to, you in turn want them to actualize or become. Now, in general sense, the church setting is after one goal or one doctrine, one major doctrine, and is Christ and Him crucified. Christ and Him crucified. We get to preach that Jesus um, died, He rose again, and is coming back, and then Jesus is the Son of God, and all that. So the fact is that this is the um, um, doctrine that transcends through every Bible believing church. First, I'm trying to speak to churches now. Every Bible believing church. So it is expected that whatever message you're trying to pass must come from this first. For people to first believe that you're a church. I hope you get that. To first believe that you're a church. If a brand is all about money, or a brand is all about landed investments, there, imagine a church, for example, you say you're a church, and what you're speaking to is about landed investment. In all that's what it's on your social media platform, but it's a church. People think you're a real estate company. You're not a church. So the first thing you understand, first of all, is who your target audience is and what you're communicating to them. It's very important. So who are the set of people you're talking to? Are you speaking to people that want to attain a certain thing in life? Because if you can get who the Lord has sent you, who the church has been sent to, or you as a person, as a content creator, has been sent to, then you get what the Lord has sent you to them, what the Lord has sent you to actualize in them. But I'm saying in Christianity, we have a general, there's then any other thing can be added. Maybe even while you are, God has sent you to bring men unto Him, like understanding of death, resurrection, and then coming back again of Jesus Christ. Added onto that, you should build men on faith. You understand? So to build men on prayer, you have an understanding of what your brand portrays. What your brand portrays, it is easier for you to communicate your knowledge to the brand. So that's one thing. So secondly, then also know their in this knowledge of a target audience, you have to know their needs, you have to know their um, you have to know their pain points, you have to know their pain points and the sorts. And then it's able for you to engage properly with them, both in scriptures, both in inspiration, and both in community building. So it's a lot when you understand who the target audience are and what you end, the end point you're targeting towards them. So whenever you're passing a message on your social media platform, message on any um, um, children ad or whatever, it's targeted, expecting that they are transformed to a particular result. I hope you get that. So it's when you get this understanding of your brand and then your target audience, social media management becomes easier, way easier for you. So way easier for you. So I had to create a very quick. I did a research earlier for this, and then I got. If somebody wants to ask something. Okay. So okay, so I did a research earlier, and then okay, that was one of the time I was managing a church social media platform, and then I had to do a random like a research of different, I think up to close to 10, 15 like major church brands. I was researching, studying how they act, how they post their content, the kind of hashtags they use, how everything was. And then I understood that there was a coherence between what they portray and the kind of content they put out there, and also to the kind of responses. So there must be that consistency in it. If you understand the kind of brand, that your brand will not reply this way, you should not reply it in any time. Whether it's on Twitter, on Facebook, or Instagram, or YouTube, or TikTok, or even your WhatsApp call center, or social media, whatever way you are trying to use, there should be a consistency in the brand. So so if you have any question on that, I just we just keep that. So when I'm done, we just get all together. So there are content pillars for church social media. I think from I have four here, four content pillars for church social media. Like I said, I'm trying to say I can wrap up everything faster so we can have time to briefly ask questions. So one is spiritual nourishment. Spiritual nourishment. That's the first pillar for church social media. Second one is community life. The third is impact and service, and the fourth is engagement. So from spiritual nourishment, that's where you can see from Bible verses, devotionals, snippets of sermons, prayers, live of the preachings, and all those. Yeah, so that's one of the pillars you should understand, that whatever you're giving out there as a church brand or a Christian brand, there should be spiritual nourishment. The second thing is that you're trying to build a community amongst them. So that's where you see things that like doing church events, you start doing get-togethers in the church, you start doing birthdays, sharing testimonies. Those things tend to build a community. I say I will not call any name, but let me just give you an example. If you call NSPPG now, for example, now there's if you just it's as if have you seen this connection when you see your church member from it. Let me just use this question. Let's say you see your church member, and then it's like you don't need to say anything. You just feel this connection, this community. I know there's a place I went to, and then very funny. We had an instance. I saw someone having like church's logo at the back of their car, and then I just had this unpleasant thought to just wave at the person and like hi, and then that kind of stuff. And it happens. Sometimes you just feel connected. It's that community that the church gives. When you see someone of your church, you just feel somehow we are connected. So it happens with church community life. That's one of the things that the church gives. And then through social media, we tend to build this kind of um this kind of thing amongst us. Social media is one of it that enhances it. So we also do from impact and service, from charity to missions to volunteer services. All these things are things that are pillars. Now, when I mean pillars, I mean these are things that could be posted on your social media platforms. So when you do all these things, are things that you could put out there. Then other things you can actually put out engagement. That way you can put things like polls, questions, Q&A. Um, I know there's one that a pastor started recently about a Q&A he does with his daughter, and then all there's sons in the Lord, and then it's easier for it just creates this sense of involvement with the audience, and then the church is also free to do that, and then it also helps them all along, all along. So I think I've been able to, in one way or the other, expound and then open our minds to social media management as it pertains to church. Like expand our mind to basically why we need social media management, some of the pillars, understanding our target audience, understanding branding as a church, and how we can also infuse um, this knowledge into our church brands. So there are key parts of social media management. I'll just briefly run through them. Lord help me. I'll just quickly run through them, and then you'll be able to finish them quickly. So one of them is first is strategy. So these are key parts of social media management. One is strategy. So this by defining your goals. Your goals. What are you seeking towards when you come on social media? What is your target? What is in your mind? What is your are you on social media to reach out to more souls? Are you on social media to grow your audience? Are you on social media to draw more people into the local churches? There should be a target in mind. Don't just jump into social media. If you're a content creator, are you on social media to propagate Christ? Are you on social media to draw men to a particular idea or a goal, or to evangelize, or to build a certain community? What is your goal on social media? So and under that strategy, it help you also identifying your target audience, and then also help you choosing the right platforms, because if you have these things in mind, you see there are people that certain videos strive better on Facebook Reels, so and Instagram Reels, so and YouTube Shorts. So if you're more kind of your brand is tilting towards a lot of video content, it's easier for you to it's best for you to be on those social media platforms. If you're trying to build a sense of community, you're on Facebook, you're on TikTok, you build more communities there on these social media platforms. And then depending on kind of community you're trying to build, you can even grow to WhatsApp as well. So content creation is another the second key part of social media management is content creation. This involves from designing your posts to writing engaging captions and copy, to writing. When I mean copy here, I mean those ones that attract content brings about awareness. Copy draws them. When I mean copy, is like join and actually search now. Yes, all those certain tag call to actions and copies. Join and search now. All those things are very important. And also content creation also involves you also showing your brand voice and style, being consistent in your content creation. And that thing again that is a key part of social media management is publishing and scheduling. Publishing and scheduling for community engagement is very important. I've talked about these ones a long time. Another thing again is to take notes of is diary notes. Here at Advent, there are so many social media managers. The time I was trying to hire a social media manager, and then it was quite difficult because, especially just people that just know how to post things, they don't know how to analyze and then score growth. You just post, post, post. You don't even know what is drawing people well. Your your audience are more interested in the messages. Are they interested in the testimonies? But you also know how to analyze as a good social media manager. That's very important. Another key part again is advertising. Churches run ads. You can run ads on social media platforms as well. Running ads is a very important one. Then also, that's it basically. There's also knowing the particular platforms you're supposed to use, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and understanding of the formats that what I've listed above will also help you in knowing the particular platform you're to use. So yes, that's basically it. So I'll just be sharing some tips. I'll be sharing some tips that will help you for social media success in churches. One tip is for you to be consistent, very important. You should be consistent in your messaging, consistent in whatever you're sharing, consistent in posting. The consistency. I was explaining to somebody the other day. Of course, we told them it's key. consistency in messaging and consistency in timing. So your message should be consistent. It should not be you're talking about something else and then today you're contradicting yourself or your messaging or your personality or your brand style or tone contradicts yourself. You won't find out a nice person today, tomorrow you're very shy or I say this guys, I said it earlier. Corporate brands which preaches church brands have a standalone voice. They can speak of their own, they can speak of their own, but the fact that usually they are allied with the brand, the personal brand of general overseer or church pastor. So there should be consistency in the message. You also learn to tell stories. Stories is very important in your destiny. Stories. You also learn to use when I mean stories, I mean sharing testimonies, learn to tell people about those things keep people connected. They want to yes, they want to feel connected. Sorry, I've already been called, but let me see if I can wrap this one fast so I can attend to. Okay, so also to use shorts is very important. Shorts within 30. No, the short ones are very important. And when I mean short, I mean those in YouTube where they actually last within 30 to 60 seconds. Those ones help you stick more. Most of the social media platforms you go to, especially on Facebook, where people are scrolling very fast. They're putting a very, very long. It's 30 minutes people are not even understanding what is going on. So please try to use uh, 30 to 60-second clips at least more often. Keep people glued to the point they are more familiar with the brand enough to go on with your longer videos or shorts. So also learn to collaborate. Collaborate with people. Sometimes, if possible, tag if the pastor's brand is also building more, tag the pastor's brand, his church brand, and all those things. Collaborations also help to build on, and collaborations usually will help better in. I won't even say you should tag church members too. Certain times it depends. Or tag church family acquainted with the church, but also collaborate for content creators to work well together. Um, that helps. So I would just say certain things to avoid as social media brand or your brand. One, avoid posting announcements announcing church service. Let's not be just transactional. Let's just connect with your brand and then yes, please, and also avoid ignoring people's comments and messages on social media platforms. There are certain social media platforms, church platforms, you will send a message, and then 2 years you've not gotten a reply. You are sending over and over again. There should be a system that allows you to pick up these messages faster and reply to those messages, give testimonies. But people just want to send testimony to your DM. You send them a line, send it here. They say no, the DM of the social media will send. So or sometimes you want to ask questions. The church located in this place? All those things. So they should be able to have a quick response team on the social media platforms. Then again, I've seen some church designs. This is for social media or your graphic designers. Sometimes it's too much. It's excessive. It's excessive. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple. And keep it in a way that there is a continuity or there's a coherence to the style of the design in your church. Your church. If your design is like this, it should be like that. Like it's easier for them. So when you say design, you know that it's this church. Like you don't even need to look at the logo. You just know it's coming from this church. You understand? It's easier and it's best. And again, please do not copy churches blindly. I know some people just want to copy that churches of content creator. Just copy them without understanding what they are doing because you saw it came from it and you believe them, you want to follow, and then it takes you down. You see the difference. So it's very important. And then don't be consistent in whatever you are doing. So I hope I'll be able to wrap up on that. So I'll just quickly just list out social media tools. As if I have time now, after your questions, I'll stop on them. But let me just talk about social media tools briefly. We have Meta Business Suite, which can very important. It works well. Very good for scheduling your content on Instagram. You guys can follow on Facebook. Works very well. Buffer also works very friendly. Buffer, Buffer. BFFER. Meta Business is from Meta. It's from Meta. So we have HotSuite. I love HotSuite. I use HotSuite a lot. I also use Buffer. You have Later. You can use Later. It's very important. There are others. For Twitter, you can also use TweetDeck. I use TweetDeck for Twitter. It got to a point where my TweetDeck was disturbing, but TweetDeck for Twitter. But there are other ones people have introduced me to. I think one was Lungu, Twitter, Sprout, Social. Yeah, all these ones are quite abstract. You can also check them out. Use the one that is most comfortable with you when you're scheduling your content. And then it should be a consistency in time. Maybe you're still posting for those at the beginning. Have a consistency in time and it will also help you well. So I think let me just take in questions first. Questions. I think I've talked a lot. Questions, please. Are we there? I don't know if I maybe lost us somewhere.
No, we are with you,
We can
sir.
hear you loud and clear.
Okay, can I? Are there questions? Any place you need clarity?
Yes, maybe if you can clarify on when you were talking about the differentiating the church image and the GO's image, the thin line there. I think I need a bit of elaboration there. Thank you.
Okay. So when I talked about the actually I didn't talk about that. I talked about the brand image, yes, the brand identity of general overseers and then the churches. Usually, not always. I try not to. One of the things I learned in prep school is never say never and never say always. So is that usually it's not an always something. Is that brands I'm tempted to use example. Let's use for example. If you go to Koinonia's page and you go to the page of Apostle Joshua Selman, there's this similarity in the way the messages are passed out. There's this similarity in like if they change to an extent, if they change the page name of Koinonia Global to Apostle Joshua Selman, it's only if you're so conscious that you follow this brand that you know, you might not notice it.
Hmm.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because they are quite similar in their messaging, in the brand voice, in the brand style. If you also do the same for um try not to mention, I'm trying to remember churches. I know what churches are playing in my head. Winners Chapel, that's Living Faith Church. You realize that almost the same thing. There's this similarity on their official page, headquarters page, and that of the pastor. There's almost a similarity in that of Bishop Oyedebo. There's always a similarity in the way the brand message is being passed. If it is a soft brand, the same way the church main official page will pose as. If it's a hard brand, a voice, a hard tone, it will pass out the same way. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Are you there with me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I understand.
So did you get what I? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So usually, so when churches are planning their strategies on their social media platform, so you have to know: do you want to do it that way? It's just as preferable that way. It helps you to just give this continuity. You understand? And then people tend to trust the brand better when they speak alike. It just helps. So do you have any other question? Do I have any other question? You want to ask me a question concerning what you've learned or something that you feel that I should have talked about? Like, oh, I didn't get on this part. Please feel free. Okay. I don't know if we are done. If that's the case, I think we'll be wrapping it up with this. I don't get any responses, so I want to believe that we all understand if there are no questions.
Well,
Yes, sir.
Anybody want
please
to ask?
let's ask though. Uh, I'm here. Let's ask our questions, please. Or should we call it a night? Okay. Doc, thank you so much. I think everything is clear now.
Okay, let me just conclude with this. At least it will help us. Okay, just a summary of what I was trying to say is that one thing you should know is that social media is a digital evangelism platform. So whatever you're doing, let it be at the back of your mind that you're preaching Jesus daily. It might be in the little things you're doing, whether you're doing a personal content or that of the church. It's an evangelism too. And then as a church, as a person, you should learn to manage these tools well. Because you are placed in your hands to use. This is the sword you can use to cut the head of your Goliath. It was the sword of Goliath that David uses cutting his head. So it might be that social media, but I know there's this statement, I'll just quote it there, that social media is the tool of the devil. Whatever it is, the tool of the devil, we use it in cutting the head of the devil. So please, whatever it is you find yourself doing, do it with all diligence. And then reach out to souls online is very important. Reach out to souls, reach out to people, reach out to people. And then in all you do, it's very important that you build a strong community because that is what social media is all about as well. But that you build community, there's this sense of togetherness in this platform. And then when you're planning, it should be simple. Then you should plan small, stay consistent, and over time it will grow. And then that's where you can have a formidable social media presence that people will like, know, like, and trust them. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay, Casey,
Thank
please.
you so much.
Thank you so much, Doc, for
Thank
coming.
you so much, sir. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Thank you so much. Everyone, please let's appreciate Dr. Godwin. Thank you so much, Dr. Godwin. It's indeed a great privilege having you. Casey,
Thank you so
please, you
much.
can end the class now.
Pardon, sir?
Yeah, you can round up and end the class.
Oh, okay, thank you. Just thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We will be having the sessions every Saturday of August. I believe this coming Saturday it will be the last Saturday on social media, church social media strategies. So thank you and be tuned in. Kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Impact Media School on even on Instagram and Facebook, so that we build the online community. And thank you so much. We trust that this information, you will use it and implement it to improve social media management in your different churches and even your brands. Thank you so much. May we thank the Lord. Father, in the name of Jesus, we give you all the praise and all the honor and all the adoration. Thank you for today, and thank you for the skills that have been impacted unto us, the information, oh God. Enlarge our tents as far as the Media Mountain is concerned. Thank you for Dr. Godwin, for we ask that you increase him, in wisdom, even in creativity. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen. Amen, everyone. Thank you for joining us.
Amen. Thank you too.
Yes, let's call it a night. Bye. See you Saturday.